Welcome to our channel. We are so glad you found your way here. Let us help you fall asleep. Let's begin with Locusta of Gaul, the professional science of Imperial Roman toxins. Take a slow, deep breath in and release it. Let the noise of today fall away as we step back, not just hours or years, but centuries, into the vast theater of crime and punishment in ancient Rome. If you genuinely like our videos, please hit like and subscribe. The historical context surrounding Locusta of Gaul is intricately woven into the fabric of Imperial Rome. This figure emerged during a period characterized by political intrigue and social upheaval. The first century of the Common Era witnessed a transformation in the ways toxins were utilized, moving from mere folklore to a professionalized craft. This evolution signified a pivotal moment in understanding poisons, not just as tools of assassination, but as elements of power dynamics. Locusta's significance extended beyond her notorious reputation as a poisoner for the elite. She operated within a complex network of political machinations that defined the era. Her expertise was sought after by emperors and aristocrats alike, illustrating a societal demand for lethal knowledge. The emergence of such professionals indicates a broader trend. The intersection of science and statecraft became increasingly apparent. In this environment, toxins were not merely substances, but symbols of control and influence. The practice of poisoning gained legitimacy, reflected in writings and trials that scrutinized both the effects and the morality of such actions. The legacy of Locusta is not confined to her deeds alone. It encompasses a deeper understanding of the role of poison in shaping historical narratives. This narrative thus serves as a crucial lens through which the complexities of power, fear, and knowledge can be examined within the annals of ancient Rome. The life of Locusta began in a region characterized by both opportunity and peril. Born into an environment where knowledge of natural substances was essential for survival, her early years were marked by an acute awareness of the medicinal and toxic properties of various plants and animals. This upbringing fostered an exceptional understanding of the intricate balance between life and death, a theme that would resonate throughout her existence. The ability to manipulate nature's elements for personal gain emerged as a vital skill. As she matured, Locusta became adept at utilizing poisons, crafting them from local flora and fauna. This expertise garnered attention, placing her at the crossroads of superstition and empirical knowledge. A growing reputation transformed her into a sought-after figure among the elite, who were eager to harness her talents for both medicinal and nefarious purposes. Her association with power players of the time introduced her to a realm where loyalty could shift rapidly. This environment of intrigue and deception served as fertile ground for her skills to flourish. As she navigated the complex social structures of ancient Rome, the interplay of trust and betrayal became a defining characteristic of her relationships. It became evident that in this world, knowledge was not merely a tool but a weapon, capable of reshaping destinies. The influence of Locusta in ancient Rome extended far beyond mere concoctions. As a skilled practitioner of toxicology, she operated in a realm where power struggles often dictated the survival of individuals and empires alike. This region was rife with political intrigue, and her expertise positioned her not only as a healer, but also as a harbinger of demise. The demand for her services surged in a society where assassination could pivot the course of history. Locusta's methods drew from a vast array of natural poisons, meticulously crafted from local flora and fauna. She understood the delicate balance between efficacy and discretion, creating substances that left little trace. Such mastery made her a sought-after figure among Rome's elite, who were increasingly aware of their vulnerability to rivals. This knowledge was not confined to her. It permeated the upper echelons of society, where trust was scarce. Engagements with prominent figures, including emperors and senators, underscored her significance. The atmosphere within these interactions was often fraught with tension, as the stakes involved were life and death. The fading company of political players relied on her, an acknowledgement of the darker side of ambition. Locusta became emblematic of the intricate web of power where the right poison could dictate the future of an empire. This intersection of science and poison in ancient Rome reveals a complex understanding of toxicology that transcended mere malice. Scholars of the era began to catalogue various substances derived from plants, minerals, and animals, meticulously studying their effects on the human body. This knowledge was not only a tool for assassination, but also for medicine, showcasing a duality that characterized Roman society. The exploration of toxic agents led to advances in pharmacology, as herbs such as hemlock and belladonna were recognized for their lethal properties. These toxic plants were often carefully harvested and processed, revealing a sophisticated approach to handling dangerous materials. They were utilized in various applications, from medical treatments to the more sinister purpose of eliminating rivals. Physicians and practitioners frequently navigated the thin line between healing and harm, resulting in a burgeoning field of study. The writings of figures such as Dioscorides and Pliny the Elder reflect a burgeoning understanding of natural toxins, their classifications, and their implications for human health. Knowledge of these substances allowed individuals like Locusta to manipulate outcomes in both personal and political arenas, further entwining the realms of science and intrigue. In this environment, the legacy of toxicology became a testament to the intricate interplay between knowledge and power, reverberating through the annals of history. The classification of toxins reveals the complexity inherent in both natural and synthetic poisons. Natural toxins, often derived from flora and fauna, possess unique mechanisms of action that have evolved over millennia. These substances, such as those found in certain mushrooms or the venom of specific snakes, are often highly specialized, targeting physiological functions with precision. In contrast, synthetic poisons emerge from the ingenuity of human chemistry, created through intricate processes that manipulate molecular structures to produce desired effects. This distinction plays a crucial role in toxicology, guiding both research and practical applications. Understanding the biochemical pathways influenced by these compounds allows for the development of antidotes and mitigation strategies. It also underscores the importance of careful handling and regulation, as the potential for misuse exists within both categories. The categorization extends further, with substances divided into classes based on their effects. Neurotoxins disrupting nervous system function, cytotoxins damaging cellular structures, and hemotoxins affecting blood and its components. This framework aids scientists and medical professionals in assessing risks and devising treatment protocols. Within the realm of toxicology, the ongoing pursuit of knowledge serves as a protective measure against the threats posed by both ancient and modern poisons, ensuring the safety and well-being of societies across the globe. The evolution of assassination techniques reflects a complex interplay of politics, culture, and technology throughout history. The motivations behind such acts range from power struggles to revenge, often shaped by the prevailing societal norms and the availability of substances that could facilitate these goals. In ancient Rome, the use of toxins became particularly pronounced, with poisons often administered in food or drink to eliminate rivals discreetly. The expertise required to deploy these lethal substances was highly specialized. Knowledge of botany and chemistry was essential, as practitioners sought to harness the effects of both naturally occurring toxins and synthesized compounds. This region of study not only involved the selection of the poison but also an understanding of its interaction with the human body. The most effective agents were those that could induce death without immediate detection. Historical accounts document the roles of infamous figures who wielded these techniques, often employing poisons to achieve political ends. The careful selection of target and timing illustrated a calculated approach, emphasizing the precision needed in such endeavors. These historical practices laid the groundwork for modern understandings of both toxicology and criminal methodology. The legacies of these acts continue to influence contemporary perspectives on justice and governance, reminding societies of the long-standing relationship between power, betrayal, and the art of assassination. The chemical composition of Roman poisons reveals a sophisticated understanding of toxicology that was remarkably advanced for its time. Various substances were derived from natural sources, each carefully selected for its lethal properties. Plants such as hemlock and belladonna were frequently employed, their alkaloids serving as potent neurotoxins. This region's medicinal knowledge was adeptly applied to sinister purposes, with skilled practitioners combining these elements into lethal concoctions. In addition to botanical sources, mineral toxins also played a significant role. Arsenic, found in certain ores, was a favored choice due to its undetectable nature in food and drink. This heavy metal, when ingested, would induce a slow decline, often leading to death that appeared to be of natural causes. Such attributes made it a weapon of choice among the elite. The meticulous preparation of these poisons involved precise measurements and careful mixing, often requiring extensive knowledge of chemistry. Historical texts hint at clandestine schools where this knowledge was passed down, fostering a culture of secrecy and expertise. The employment of these toxins reflects not only the practical aspects of assassination, but also the philosophical considerations surrounding mortality and power. These remnants of ancient practices continue to intrigue modern scientists, prompting further investigations into their efficacy and the societal implications that accompanied their use. The Neronian era marked a significant period in which the role of Locusta emerged prominently. This infamous figure, a skilled practitioner of toxicology, operated within the intricate networks of power and influence that defined Roman society. Her expertise in concocting lethal substances positioned her as a critical player amidst the complexities of political intrigue. In the midst of growing tensions and rivalries, her contributions were not merely technical, but deeply entwined with the strategic maneuverings of the imperial court. The presence of poisons in this era served as both a tool and a symbol, representing the fragility of life in an environment saturated with ambition. The calculated use of her creations provided a means to eliminate adversaries, thereby shaping the political landscape. Locusta's notoriety was further amplified by the patrons she served, including emperors and senators seeking to secure their legacies through ruthless means. This relationship between the practitioner and her elite clients illustrated a disturbing synergy between power and mortality. The substances she produced often transcended mere physical effects. provoking philosophical discussions about ethics and governance within the context of Imperial Rome. As investigations into these practices continue, the legacy of Locusta remains a poignant reminder of the intertwining of science, power, amasa, amat, and the human condition in the annals of history. Two notable cases highlight the chilling effectiveness of Locusta's expertise in toxicology. The first involves the demise of Emperor Claudius, a pivotal figure whose reign was marked by significant expansion and consolidation of the Roman Empire. His sudden illness, characterized by acute symptoms, led to suspicions surrounding his inner circle. Locusta was summoned, her knowledge of poisons instrumental in orchestrating a lethal concoction. The chosen toxin, derived from a plant with profound neurotoxic properties, ensured a swift and untraceable death. This incident exemplified how scientific understanding could be wielded as a weapon of political maneuvering. Another striking case centers on the assassination of Britannicus, the son of Claudius. The young prince, deemed a threat to the ambitions of Nero, fell victim to a subtle but deadly application of poison. Locusta's role in this assassination was less overt yet profoundly impactful. A poison administered in a manner that mimicked natural illness removed any direct ties to foul play, demonstrating her mastery over the art of assassination. The effects were both immediate and irreversible, underscoring the lethal potential of her craft. These historical instances reveal not only the efficacy of toxic substances in eliminating rivals, but also raise enduring questions regarding the ethical implications of such scientific prowess in governance and ambition. The intertwining of knowledge, power, amasa, and morality remains a complex legacy. The political landscape of Rome was characterized by intricate relationships and shifting alliances, where power dynamics played a pivotal role in shaping the empire's policies. Within this climate, the use of toxins and poisons emerged as tools for both defense and offense. This region became notorious for its strategic applications, with those in authority wielding lethal substances to eliminate rivals or consolidate control. Advisors and confidants often navigated a precarious balance, utilizing their knowledge of lethal agents to influence outcomes while maintaining their own safety. The manipulation of these toxins reflected broader trends in governance and societal values, where cunning and ruthlessness were sometimes perceived as virtues. Legislative measures were enacted to regulate the use of poisons, though enforcement varied significantly across different provinces. This inconsistency often led to a clandestine culture surrounding toxicology, where practitioners operated in secrecy, sharing knowledge through whispers and coded texts. Scholars and scientists of the era meticulously documented the effects of various compounds, contributing to a growing understanding of human physiology and the impact of toxins. These studies forged a connection between medicine and malevolence, intertwining the advancement of science with the darker facets of human ambition. In this way, the legacy of Roman political machinations continues to echo through history, leaving an indelible mark on the interplay of power and ethics in governance. Flora played a critical role in the development of Roman toxicology, with a myriad of plants utilized for their potent properties. Many species were identified for their lethal effects, transforming botanical knowledge into a weapon of choice for the politically ambitious. This region was replete with herbs and roots, each possessing distinct chemical compounds that could induce a range of effects from paralysis to hallucination. Aconite, or monkshood, stood out as one of the most notorious plants. Its toxic alkaloids, capable of causing rapid cardiac arrest, made it a favored option for those seeking to eliminate rivals. The meticulous extraction and preparation of such botanicals revealed a sophisticated understanding of their properties. It was not merely the knowledge of plants that was significant, but the strategic application of this knowledge in a society where power dynamics dictated life and death. The Roman elite engaged in extensive experimentation, documenting the effects of various plant concoctions. This meticulous study established a foundation for the field of toxicology, influencing both medicine and military strategy. Such practices raised ethical questions that resonate even today, blurring the lines between healing and harm. The foundations of Roman poison practices were profoundly influenced by Greek medicine. This intellectual lineage introduced a variety of substances and techniques that were utilized in both therapeutic and lethal applications. Prominent scholars such as Hippocrates and Galen laid the groundwork for a nuanced understanding of human physiology and pharmacology. Their texts became essential references for Roman physicians who sought to refine these concepts within their own medical framework. In this context, toxicology emerged as an early branch of medical science. The Romans adopted many Greek botanical remedies, some of which possessed toxic properties. The knowledge of these plants extended beyond mere utility. It also encompassed their potential for harm. This duality fostered a complex relationship with toxins, where the boundaries between curative and lethal effects became increasingly ambiguous. The careful documentation of poisons, their sources, and their effects was paramount. Manuals and treatises were composed, cataloging the properties of various substances derived from flora and fauna. This region of inquiry expanded the Roman understanding of not only how toxins could be used in warfare, but also their roles in daily life. As Roman society progressed, the interplay between Greek medical traditions and local practices contributed to a burgeoning knowledge base. This melding of ideas paved the way for advanced techniques in extraction, allowing for the transformation of natural substances into potent toxins. The process often began with the careful selection of plants known for their toxic properties, such as those found in the Mediterranean region. These flora contained alkaloids and glycosides, compounds with significant pharmacological effects. Harvesting required precision and timing, as the potency of these plants often fluctuated throughout their growth cycles. This region's practitioners utilized traditional knowledge, accumulating wisdom passed down through generations, ensuring they gathered the most effective specimens. Once collected, the plants underwent meticulous preparation. Drying was a critical step, as it concentrated the chemical compounds while reducing moisture that could lead to degradation. Grinding the dried materials into fine powders facilitated further extraction, making it easier to isolate the desired toxins. Extraction methods varied, employing solvents like alcohol or water to dissolve specific components. Filtration was crucial, separating the liquid extract from the remaining plant material. The resulting tinctures and decoctions were potent, with precise dosages required for effective use. This progression from plant to poison exemplified the profound understanding of chemistry and biology possessed by these ancient practitioners, revealing an intricate relationship between nature and the human pursuit of power and knowledge. The techniques employed by Locusta reflect an advanced knowledge of toxicology, showcasing a variety of tools and methods designed to optimize the efficacy of poisons. Mortars and pestles served as essential instruments, allowing for the precise grinding of plants and minerals, optimizing their potency. The careful selection of ingredients, such as hemlock or belladonna, was crucial. Their effects were well documented in both herbal lore and practical application. Glass vials and clay pots frequently housed these lethal concoctions, meticulously crafted for both storage and transport. The ease of concealment permitted the swift deployment of toxins, a feature that rendered them particularly attractive to political figures seeking discreet solutions to rivals. Techniques varied widely, from the direct ingestion methods to more subtle applications, such as poisoning food or drink, where the source of the toxin could easily remain anonymous. In addition to this, the art of dosage played a vital role. Understanding the threshold between a lethal dose and a non-lethal one required keen insight into human biology. It was not merely about the poison itself, but the timing and method of delivery. Such considerations contributed to the legacy of Locusta, as her expertise underscored the delicate balance between life and death, demonstrating how mastery over nature's toxins could. Historical accounts of Locusta's work reveal a complex interplay between science and power. Ancient texts provide insight into her methods, often emphasizing her role in the political machinations of Imperial Rome. These writings, primarily from historians such as Tacitus and Suetonius, depict her as both a skilled practitioner and a figure entwined with notorious figures, illustrating the duality of her legacy. Interpretations of these sources have varied, with some emphasizing the ethical implications of her practices. It is essential to consider the societal context in which she operated, where the use of toxins was not merely a means of assassination, but also a reflection of the prevailing attitudes toward life, death, and the natural world. This region, marked by intrigue and betrayal, served as a backdrop for her expertise, transforming her into a symbol of the darker aspects of Roman politics. Descriptions of her concoctions suggest a deep understanding of botanical properties and animal venoms. The meticulous documentation of her techniques highlights a scientific rigor that challenges simplistic notions of her as merely a poisoner. Rather, these interpretations reveal a figure who navigated the complexities of human desire and ambition, harnessing nature's potency in a manner that captivated and repulsed her contemporaries. The moral dilemmas surrounding the use of toxins in ancient Rome provoke profound contemplation. In a society steeped in power struggles, the ethics of poison were often overshadowed by the pursuit of dominance. It was not merely a tool for assassination, but also a complex symbol of status and intellect. The careful selection of substances underscored a calculated approach. Each toxin was a representation of knowledge, its application reflecting the user's understanding of both science and morality. The implications of such practices extended beyond immediate gain. The consequences for individuals involved in these lethal arts were profound and often irreversible. Trust was undermined, friendships shattered, and alliances dismantled. This region bore witness to the duality of human nature, where the desire for control frequently clashed with ethical considerations. In this environment, figures like Locusta wielded immense influence, their expertise intertwining with the fates of the powerful. The tension between utility and morality manifested in philosophical debates among scholars of the time. The use of poison invited questions about the sanctity of life and the responsibilities of those who sought power through manipulation. Consequently, the legacy of such practices raises enduring questions about accountability and the moral landscapes navigated by those who engaged in this perilous science. The echoes of these dilemmas resonate through history, offering insights into the human condition itself. An intricate bond existed between Locusta and Empress Papier, highlighting the interplay of power and vulnerability in the imperial court. Locusta, known for her exceptional knowledge of poisons, became an invaluable asset to Poppaea, who sought to secure her influence amidst the shifting allegiances of Rome. This collaboration was not merely one of servant and ruler, it represented a calculated alliance where each sought to benefit from the other's strengths. The Empress, ambitious and astute, understood the potency of toxins in both political maneuvering and personal defense, Locusta's expertise provided her with a means to eliminate rivals discreetly, allowing Poppaea to maintain her dominance without overt displays of aggression. The relationship was steeped in secrecy, with whispers of toxic concoctions circulating through the corridors of power. Yet, the dynamic was inherently precarious. Locusta, while empowered by her association with the Empress, remained aware of the inherent risks of her craft. Trust was a fragile currency in such a volatile environment. As Poppaea's favor waxed and waned, the potential for betrayal loomed. The delicate balance between reliance and fear characterized their interactions, reflecting the broader themes of ambition and survival within the tumultuous landscape of Imperial Rome. Each decision bore the weight of consequence, shaping both their fates within the empire. Social status in Roman society delineated the roles and perceptions of individuals engaged in poisoning. Poisoners occupied a unique niche, often viewed with a blend of intrigue and repulsion. Their skills in the art of toxins were both feared and respected, placing them in a complex hierarchy. Some operated in the shadows, while others wielded their knowledge more openly, catering to the elite who sought discreet solutions to interpersonal conflicts. Training in toxicology was informal, typically passed down through generations. This knowledge created a rich vein of expertise that intertwined with the workings of power. Those who mastered these arts often found themselves in the service of the affluent, offering their services as advisors or even assassins. The intricate relationship between poisoners and politicians reflected the broader themes of trust and betrayal in the imperial context. While some poisoners lived in the margins, others ascended to positions of relative prominence, where their secrets held value in political maneuvering. Reputation played a crucial role. A poisoner's efficacy could elevate their status, making them indispensable to influential figures. Yet, with this elevated status came the ever-present risk of exposure. The societal perception of poisoners oscillated between admiration for their craft and disdain for its implications, reflecting the duality of life within the empire. The foundations of toxicology trace back to ancient practices, where meticulous observation and experimentation laid the groundwork for understanding poisons. Early practitioners, often operating in the shadows of society, meticulously catalogued the effects of various substances on living organisms. These efforts were not merely for malicious intent, they extended into realms of medicine and agriculture, seeking to harness the potent properties of flora and fauna. This region, rich in biodiversity, offered myriad plants whose chemical compounds were both revered and feared. The extraction of toxins from sources such as the deadly belladonna or the potent strychnine enabled a nuanced understanding of their impacts. It was within these early laboratories, often kitchens or herbalist shops, that the science of toxicology began to take shape. As information spread, the classification of poisons became more systematic. Texts emerged detailing symptoms associated with specific toxins, providing guidance on antidotes and treatments. The careful documentation benefited not only those who wielded these substances as weapons, but also those who sought to protect and heal. The delicate balance of life and death encapsulated the essence of toxicology, reflecting an intricate web of relationships between nature and humanity. This evolving science would bring women like Locusta of Gaul to the forefront of toxicological practices. Known for her expertise in the art of poisoning, she served influential figures within the Roman elite, illustrating the complex role women played in this clandestine world. Her knowledge was not merely a reflection of personal ambition, but rather a manifestation of a broader societal acceptance of female agency in matters deemed dangerous and covert. In a society often characterized by patriarchal dominance, these women operated within shadows, wielding power through their understanding of toxic substances. Locusta skills were sought after by those who sought discreet means to eliminate rivals or secure political advantages. This reliance on her expertise underscores the paradox of women's influence in the rigid structures of Roman society. The substances she used were derived from carefully curated natural sources, showcasing a deep understanding of botany and chemistry that transcended conventional gender expectations. Her legacy, intertwined with both fear and respect, reveals the intricate dynamics at play in the use of poisons. These practitioners navigated the complexities of morality and ethics, often stepping into roles that challenged traditional perceptions of femininity. Such case studies offer a window into the hidden practices of ancient Rome, providing a nuanced understanding of the contributions of women in the context of power, poison, and intrigue. A key ingredients in Roman toxins often derived from the natural world, showcasing a deep understanding of local flora and fauna. A range of plants featured prominently in this toxic repertoire, including the notorious belladonna, known for its potent alkaloids. These compounds could induce paralysis or delirium, serving both medicinal and lethal purposes. The careful extraction of its berries and leaves highlighted the expertise of those who wielded such knowledge. Another common substance, hemlock, gained infamy through its association with Socratic philosophy, yet its lethal properties were well utilized in the shadows of power. The delicate balance between dosage and effect showcased not only the scientific acumen of these practitioners, but also their profound insight into human physiology. Various minerals also played a role in their chemical concoctions. Arsenic and lead, easily sourced from the earth, were utilized in minute quantities to achieve desired outcomes. The careful preparation and formulation of these poisons required precision, reflecting an intricate understanding of chemistry long before the establishment of modern scientific principles. Additionally, the use of animal venoms, such as those from certain snakes and scorpions, provided another avenue for creating effective toxins. The application of these substances in both assassination and political maneuvering illustrates the multifaceted nature of Roman intrigue and the lengths to which individuals would go to secure their ambitions. Locusta's legacy extends far beyond her immediate impact on the Roman elite. The principles she established regarding the art of poisoning became foundational for later generations of poisoners. Techniques developed during her time, as well as the specific compounds she favored, were meticulously documented and disseminated among various circles. In the shadowy realms of medieval courts, these methods gained notoriety, influencing the practices of those who sought power through lethal means. The fascination with her expertise is evident in historical texts, where references to her methods appear alongside the names of other notorious poisoners. It provides insight into the evolving understanding of toxicity, dosage, and the psychological implications of using poison as a weapon. This region, rich in political strife and social upheaval, became a breeding ground for individuals who mimicked her strategies, refining and adapting them to suit their own ambitions. These successors often employed substances derived from flora and fauna, mirroring Locusta's use of natural toxins. The adherence to her teachings is visible in the careful selection of poisons, often chosen for their delayed effects, allowing perpetrators to evade immediate suspicion. This calculated approach to murder reinforced a chilling legacy, where the art of poisoning was not merely an act of malice, but a sophisticated tool of political maneuvering. Her psychological profile emerges, revealing a complex interplay between intellect and emotional detachment. These individuals often possessed an extensive understanding of toxicology, enabling them to select substances that were both effective and discreet. This knowledge, acquired through observation and study, created a foundation for their actions, allowing them to navigate the dangerous waters of imperial politics with precision. Character traits commonly exhibited included high levels of cunning and manipulation, as well as an ability to remain calm under pressure. They displayed an analytical mindset, able to assess situations and identify vulnerabilities in their targets. This calculated demeanor contributed to a facade of normalcy, often allowing them to integrate seamlessly into the social fabric of their surroundings. The psychological distance maintained from their victims was crucial. Many professional poisoners rationalized their actions, viewing them not as murder but as a necessary means to an end. This detachment allowed them to carry out their missions without the burden of guilt, emphasizing the chilling nature of their profession. The environment in which they operated was fraught with intrigue, further complicating their motivations. Loyalty, betrayal, and ambition coexisted in this precarious arena, shaping the strategies employed by those who wielded toxins as tools of power. The legacy of such figures remains embedded in historical narratives, illuminating the darker aspects of human ambition. The intricate methodologies employed by Locusta created ripples throughout the political landscapes of Imperial Rome. These techniques provided a means of manipulation, influencing power dynamics and altering the course of succession. Utilizing various toxins, she transformed the art of assassination into a calculated science, where precision and discretion were paramount. This evolution in strategy allowed for targeted eliminations, often executed with little evidence left behind. Toxicology became a tool not just for personal gain, but for shifting allegiances and consolidating power. The potency of her concoctions fostered an environment where trust was undermined and paranoia flourished among the elite. Individuals once considered loyal found themselves vulnerable to betrayal as the threat of poison lurked in every banquet and gathering. Such an atmosphere of uncertainty inevitably reshaped the political theater, prompting shifts in loyalty that could alter the fate of empires. This era witnessed a growing reliance on covert means of influence, as the fear of unseen forces became ingrained in the psyche of Roman leaders. The ambition for control led to a reliance on clandestine methods, with the shadowy figures of poisoners rising to prominence. In essence, Locusta's legacy catalyzed a transformation of political machinations, intertwining the fates of individuals with the subtle art of toxins, forever altering the fabric of Roman governance. Cultural representations of Locusta extend beyond her historical actions, revealing a complex interplay between perception and narrative. In ancient texts, she often embodies the archetype of the cunning femme fatale, illustrating societal fears surrounding female power and the manipulation of life and death. These portrayals frequently highlight her mastery over poisons, framing her as both a skilled practitioner and a potential threat to the established order. Literature from this period and beyond often reflects the ambivalence toward her figure, oscillating between admiration for her intellect and disdain for her methods. This nuanced representation illustrates the tension within Roman society regarding women in positions of influence. Writers such as Juvenal and Seneca evoke her name in discussions of moral decay, suggesting that her actions catalyzed broader anxieties about power dynamics and ethical boundaries. Dramatic retellings in later epochs further entrench her legacy, transforming Locusta into a symbol of treachery and intrigue. These adaptations often emphasize her role within the political machinations of Rome, reinforcing the notion that her toxic expertise was not merely a tool of assassination, but a commentary on the fragility of trust and loyalty in governance. Through these literary lenses, Locusta remains an enduring figure, emblematic of the complex relationship between personal agency and societal structures. Her story continues to resonate, serving as a reflection of the darker aspects of human ambition and the pursuit of power. The evolution of poison in ancient Rome reveals a significant shift from natural substances to synthetic formulations. Initially, these toxins were derived from plants, minerals, and animal products, each carefully harvested for their lethal properties. Knowledge of these natural toxins was widespread among the elite, who often utilized them as instruments of control, ensuring their dominance in political and social spheres. With time, the desire for more potent and less traceable agents led to experimentation in laboratories. The transition marked the emergence of synthetic compounds skillfully manipulated to enhance their effectiveness. This region saw the rise of chemists and alchemists who sought to unlock the secrets of nature, transforming the art of poisoning into a science. The meticulous process involved combining various elements to create substances that could evade detection and deliver fatal results with precision. These synthetic poisons were not merely tools of assassination, but also reflected a broader understanding of chemistry and biology. The implications of such advancements extended beyond personal vendettas, influencing warfare and statecraft. While the ancient world marveled at these innovations, they simultaneously confronted the moral ramifications of wielding such power. As the boundaries of ethics blurred, the legacy of synthetic toxins left an indelible mark on Roman society, shaping its narrative in a manner that transcended mere survival, entwining ambition with the darker nuances of human nature. The utilization of poison in Roman warfare emerged as a chilling extension of tactical ingenuity, with vast armies often facing off against formidable foes. The introduction of toxic agents provided a means to gain an advantage without direct confrontation. This region, rich in strategic resources, witnessed the calculated application of these substances in various forms, from poisoned weaponry to tainted provisions. Military leaders recognized the psychological impact of such methods. The mere suggestion of poison could instill fear and uncertainty among enemy ranks, disrupting morale and engendering distrust. The anticipation of covert attacks, where toxic agents might linger unseen, transformed the landscape of battle into a treacherous domain. Sieges became arenas for experimental tactics, as defenders resorted to contaminating wells or food supplies. These actions reflected a growing understanding of the environment and its potential hazards, revealing a sophistication in military strategy that extended beyond traditional combat. Scholarly discourse of the time often debated the ethics of these practices, as the line between valor and treachery became increasingly convoluted. While some hailed the effectiveness of poison as a testament to Roman ingenuity, others lamented the moral decay it represented. The implications of such warfare echoed throughout society, fundamentally altering the perception of honor and valor in the face of ambition and survival. The chemistry of death reveals a complex interplay of substances that disrupt biological functions. Various toxins interact with the body at a molecular level, inhibiting essential processes. For instance, Neurotoxins target nerve cells, leading to paralysis or respiratory failure. These compounds bind to receptors, preventing the transmission of signals crucial for muscle movement. The onset of symptoms can range from immediate to gradual, depending on the dosage and type of poison involved. Cytotoxins, another category of poisons, cause cellular damage by disrupting the integrity of membranes or by interrupting metabolic pathways. This leads to cell death and can trigger systemic responses, including inflammation. The body's immune system may react, attempting to combat the perceived threat, resulting in further complications. Ingested toxins often undergo metabolic transformation in the liver, where they may become more harmful or, conversely, be rendered harmless. The liver's capacity to detoxify is not infinite, and excessive exposure can overwhelm its functions, leading to acute liver failure. The physiological impact of these substances underscores the delicate balance within biological systems. Even minute quantities can alter homeostasis, showcasing the vulnerability of life to external chemical influences. The study of these interactions continues to inform both historical perspectives and modern medical practices, revealing the long-standing significance of poison in human history. Numerous historical accounts of poisoning during Roman times highlight the complexities surrounding these toxic substances. Many narratives, often steeped in myth and exaggeration, require meticulous examination to discern their accuracy. Notable figures such as Emperor Claudius and Cleopatra emerge frequently in discussions involving poison, with various texts attributing their fates to the machinations of toxins. The reliability of these accounts varies widely, influenced by the biases of ancient historians. Inscriptions and archaeological findings offer additional context, providing evidence of substances utilized in these lethal practices. The analysis of residues from ancient vessels can identify remains of toxic compounds. Such studies reveal a sophisticated understanding of chemistry among Roman practitioners, as well as the methods employed to administer poisons discreetly. The motivations behind these acts often appear to be driven by political intrigue or personal vendettas. This environment fostered a culture where poisoning became an art form, honed through generations. The nuances of these historical narratives necessitate a careful approach to interpretation, as they reflect not only individual actions but also broader societal values and fears. The legal framework surrounding poisoning in ancient Rome was intricate, reflecting the complexities of societal norms and power dynamics. Legislation was established to address the use of toxins, particularly in cases of assassination or treachery, where the stakes were significantly high. The Lex Cornelia, enacted in the 1st century BCE, criminalized the act of poisoning and imposed severe penalties on those found guilty. This law served as a deterrent, reinforcing the notion that the act of poisoning violated not only moral codes, but also the stability of the state. Judicial proceedings often relied on testimony and evidence, which could be scarce, particularly in clandestine cases. Accusations could lead to trials that unfolded in a charged atmosphere, where public sentiment influenced outcomes. This region was characterized by a blend of legal rigor and social politics, creating an environment where the accused could leverage their status or connections to evade punishment. In some instances, prominent figures wielded their power to manipulate circumstances surrounding allegations of poisoning. The ramifications extended beyond individual cases, as public trust in governance could erode under the weight of perceived injustice. The implications of these legal frameworks are significant. revealing how the interplay of law and societal values shaped responses to threats perceived as existential. Each case acted as a reflection of the underlying tensions within Roman society, exposing the fragility of order amid the shadows of ambition and betrayal. The intricate relationship between poison and medicine reveals a duality that permeated Roman practices. This region saw the emergence of skilled practitioners who navigated the delicate boundary between healing and harm. The use of toxic plants and minerals was commonplace, reflecting both the ingenuity and the peril inherent in medicinal knowledge. It was in this context that physicians harnessed the properties of substances such as hemlock and foxglove, understanding their potential to alleviate suffering while acknowledging their capacity for lethality. Herbal concoctions often held the promise of treatment, yet they carried the risk of being wielded as weapons. This delicate interplay was not merely theoretical. Instances of poisonings were pervasive, highlighting a culture where the same substances could serve both therapeutic and nefarious purposes. The writings of prominent figures such as Dioscorides and Galen illustrate the complexities of this practice, where toxicity was meticulously catalogued and evaluated. In the hands of a skilled practitioner, poisons could be administered with precision, drawing upon the profound understanding of human anatomy and the effects of various substances. This knowledge was not limited to the medical elite. It extended to the general populace, where awareness of remedies and poisons became entwined with daily life. The pursuit of health and the potential for harm existed in an uneasy coexistence, shaping a narrative steeped in both discovery and caution. Cider. Locusta emerged as a pivotal figure in the intersection of toxicology and the political machinations of Imperial Rome. Operating within this environment, she provided her knowledge of poisons to those seeking power, her skills sought after by ambitious individuals who understood the lethal potential of her craft. This region, marked by both grandeur and treachery, facilitated a unique blend of science and ruthlessness. The demand for her expertise grew as the tides of power shifted. Notable figures utilized the toxins she crafted to eliminate rivals or consolidate control. The preparation of these substances was meticulous, requiring a deep understanding of various plants and minerals. Each concoction represented a delicate balance between efficacy and lethality, a reflection of the era's complex relationship with nature. As the empire expanded, so too did the sophistication of its toxicological practices. Locusta's techniques became emblematic of a broader trend, where the manipulation of natural resources was increasingly associated with political strategy. This pursuit of dominance often overshadowed ethical considerations, leading to a legacy fraught with moral ambiguity. In the shadows of opulent palaces and bustling marketplaces, the art of poisoning evolved. Those who wielded this knowledge were both revered and feared, epitomizing the duality of innovation and destruction that defined the Imperial Roman experience. The evolution of antidotes reflects a methodical response to the pervasive threat of toxins in Roman society. Medical practitioners meticulously studied the effects of various poisons, leading to the identification of substances capable of counteracting their lethal impact. This region became a crucible of experimentation, where herbal remedies and mineral concoctions were tested against the most notorious venoms. Among the most notable antidotes was the use of the opium poppy, revered for its ability to mitigate the effects of certain poisons. Practitioners combined it with other compounds, tailoring treatments based on the type of toxin involved. This intricate knowledge was often passed down through generations, protected by a veil of secrecy among the elite. Documented cases illustrate that the urgency of antidote development was often a response to political intrigue. Assassination attempts using poison spurred innovation, as those in power sought ways to safeguard themselves. The writings of prominent physicians from this era reveal a systematic approach to toxicology, highlighting both empirical observations and philosophical musings about life and death. Training in the art of antidote preparation became essential for physicians, fostering a community of scholars dedicated to understanding the complexities of human physiology and toxic substances. Such advancements not only protected individuals but also contributed to the broader discourse on health and safety within the empire. The integration of toxins into culinary practices reflects a complex relationship between safety and risk in Roman society. This region saw the introduction of various poisons, often derived from plants and animals, which were used to enhance flavors or preserve food. Certain toxic herbs, when carefully dosed, could elevate a dish, creating a unique culinary experience that blurred the lines between pleasure and danger. Agriculture, too, was transformed by the awareness of these substances. Farmers learned to recognize plants that could either enrich or diminish crop yields, employing toxic plants as pest deterrents. This strategic cultivation not only safeguarded harvests, but also shaped the diet of the populace. The careful application of poisons in both farming and cooking led to a nuanced understanding of their effects, intertwining gastronomy with the science of toxins. The allure of these substances often extended to elite dining, where meals became a showcase of both culinary ingenuity and the mastery of toxic knowledge. The potential risks associated with miscalculations were ever present, yet the Romans navigated these hazards with a certain pragmatism, reflecting their broader societal embrace of complexity and contradiction. This intricate interplay of poison and food highlights a significant, albeit dangerous, chapter in Roman history, illustrating how the empire's fascination with toxins permeated daily life. Mythology serves as a vital lens for examining Roman poisons, providing insight into cultural perceptions and societal values. Ancient tales often portrayed toxic substances not merely as lethal agents but as instruments of divine retribution or moral lessons. Gods and goddesses frequently wielded these poisons, embedding them within narratives that explored themes of betrayal, vengeance, and the fragility of life. This symbolic association elevated toxins from mere physical agents to elements laden with moral significance. In these stories, the wielding of poison often reflected deeper anxieties surrounding power and control. The figure of Medea, for instance, illustrates a complex relationship with toxic substances, embodying both the allure and peril of such knowledge. Her actions, authority too, illustrates a complex relationship with toxic substances, embodying both the allure and peril of such knowledge. Her actions, steeped in the narrative of love and betrayal, echo the dual nature of poison, a force capable of both harm and healing, depending on intent and application. These mythological frameworks informed practical applications as well. Many Romans turned to texts that chronicled the experiences of gods and heroes, seeking guidance on the use of toxins. Herbal remedies derived from poisonous plants found their place in medical practices, underscoring a profound understanding of the fine line between beneficial and harmful substances. The intertwining of myth and science thus shaped a sophisticated approach to toxins, enriching the empire's legacy in both medicine and philosophy. Regional variations in toxins across the Mediterranean region highlight the diverse ecological niches and cultural practices that influenced their use. Each locale contributed unique substances, derived from local flora and fauna. In southern regions, particularly along the shores of the Aegean Sea, the deadly properties of plants like the mandrake root were well documented. This herb, revered in various traditions, was known for its potent alkaloids, which could induce hallucinations or paralysis. To the west, the coastal areas of North Africa offered a different array of toxins. The venom of certain snakes, such as the horned viper, became a focal point of study. Its ability to cause rapid coagulation and subsequent necrosis was utilized in both warfare and medicinal practices. Experimental applications often intersected, leading to the creation of antidotes and countermeasures. These variances were not merely biological, but intertwined with social customs. The consumption of certain fish, like the fugu, exemplified both culinary innovation and risk. In Rome, knowledge of these toxins was meticulously catalogued, serving both the elite and common citizens. As trade routes expanded, insights from various cultures converged, resulting in an enriched understanding of toxicology. This exchange fostered a developing science that would resonate throughout the ages, influencing both medicine and the philosophical discourse surrounding life and death. Roman scholars made substantial contributions to toxicology, laying foundational principles that would inform future generations. Their meticulous observations of natural substances, including plants, minerals, and animal derivatives, resulted in early classifications of toxins. These scholars meticulously documented the effects of various poisons on human physiology, emphasizing the importance of dosage and the unique responses of individuals. Through rigorous experimentation, they established vital connections between certain toxins and their symptoms, leading to the early understanding of toxicity and antidotes. The exhaustive texts of these scholars often provided detailed descriptions of the symptoms experienced by victims of poisoning, creating a reference for both practitioners and philosophers. This knowledge transcended mere observation, seeking to understand the causal relationships between toxins and their biological effects. In this region, the writings of figures such as Dioscorides and Pliny the Elder emerged as critical references, addressing toxic substances and their medicinal properties. They explored the dual nature of many agents, underscoring the thin line between healing and harm. Their insights encouraged a systematic approach to the study of poisons, promoting the necessity for caution in their use. Through a blend of empirical observation and philosophical inquiry, these scholars not only expanded the boundaries of toxicology, but also shaped a narrative that intertwined ethics, medicine, and the understanding of human existence within the vast complexities of nature. Collaboration emerged as a critical element within this clandestine field, creating a network of poisoners who shared knowledge and resources. These individuals operated in the shadows, their expertise not merely in the concoction of deadly substances, but also in the art of evasion. It was a community bound by mutual interests and a shared understanding of the delicate balance between life and death. As they exchanged recipes and techniques, the intricacies of their methods became more refined, revealing a sophisticated grasp of chemistry. Each specialist contributed unique insights, drawn from diverse regions and cultural practices. The collective wisdom they amassed often extended beyond lethal applications, finding uses in medicinal contexts as well. This duality illustrated an intriguing aspect of their craft, where the same substances could serve both curative and lethal purposes. The blending of disparate influences fostered a rich dialogue, leading to innovations in toxin creation and application. The secrecy of this network lent an air of mystique, yet it was built upon a foundation of rigorous experimentation, Observations and results were meticulously documented, creating a body of work that would influence future generations. This collaboration not only advanced their craft, but also left an indelible mark on the historiography of toxicology, reflecting the complex interplay between knowledge, power, and morality within the fabric of Roman society. The intricate process of identifying poisons in ancient Rome relied heavily on both empirical observation and evolving methodologies. It demanded a keen understanding of natural substances and their effects on the human body. Practitioners observed symptoms manifested after exposure to various toxins, compiling detailed records that culprits often included plant and animal derivatives, which required careful examination. This region of study necessitated experimentation, where substances were tested on animals, yielding vital insights into their potency and effects. The meticulous documentation of these trials served as a foundation for knowledge transfer between generations of physicians and researchers. In addition, the role of sensory perception was critical in this scientific pursuit. Color, odor, odor, and taste were all indicators of potential toxins. Experienced practitioners would recognize characteristic signs associated with certain poisons, enhancing their ability to diagnose and treat ailments. The use of rudimentary chemical tests emerged, allowing the identification of specific compounds through reactions, albeit limited by the technology of the time. This evolving framework reflected a broader societal emphasis on understanding and controlling the natural world. The search for effective antidotes paralleled the quest for poisons, highlighting the duality of ancient medicinal practices. Knowledge was power, and in the hands of the elite, it could dictate the fate of individuals and influence political landscapes. Political alliances shifted subtly under the influence of the toxins wielded by Locusta of Gaul. Subtle nuances permeated the interactions among factions, as the unique properties of poisons became tools of ambition and strategy. In a world where trust was a fragile commodity, the ability to manipulate life and death transformed alliances into precarious negotiations. The presence of a skilled poisoner emboldened leaders to pursue treachery with newfound confidence. They relied on the efficacy of toxins to eliminate rivals discreetly, fueling a climate of fear. These compounds, often lethal in microscopic doses, became instruments of control, allowing those in power to orchestrate the removal of opposition without invoking open conflict. As whispers of Locusta's expertise spread, factions sought her counsel, weaving her into the very fabric of political maneuvering. The knowledge of poisons extended beyond mere assassination. It facilitated the securing of loyalty through intimidation. An atmosphere of unease settled over the political landscape, with the specter of betrayal lurking behind every alliance. This region became a chessboard, each player acutely aware of the potential ramifications of toxic interactions. The delicate balance of power rested not solely on military might or rhetoric, but on the unseen hand of a poisoner whose legacy would echo through history, shaping destinies with calculated precision. The end of an era unfolded with the gradual unraveling of Locusta's influence. This pivotal figure, once cloaked in the shadows of the Imperial court, faced an inevitable decline as the shifting tides of power rendered her services obsolete. The reign of Emperor Nero, which had relied heavily on her expertise, began to fracture under the weight of dissent and political turmoil. The intricate web of alliances that had once provided her with protection deteriorated, leaving her vulnerable. Whispers of betrayal permeated the air, as rivals sought to eliminate threats to their own ambitions. It was not merely the disfavor of the emperor that marked her decline, but the broader societal changes that emerged within the empire. The populace grew increasingly wary of the machinations that ensnared their leaders, leading to a demand for transparency and justice. The eventual arrest of Locusta symbolized a turning point, revealing the fragility of power built on treachery. She faced charges that would seal her fate, stripped of the very influence she wielded with such precision. In the end, I've ordered Suristau, I've ordered thee, sir, to fate. Stripped of the very influence she wielded with such precision. In the end, the quiet execution of this once feared poisoner served as a reminder of the impermanence inherent in political schemes. The legacy of her actions lingered, haunting the corridors of power long after her fall, a testament to the complexities of trust and betrayal in the heart of the empire. The Mystery de Midi, the archaeological evidence of Roman poisoning practices, reveals a meticulous and often insidious approach to the use of toxins. Excavations in ancient urban centers have uncovered remnants of specialized utensils, such as small, intricately designed vials and spoons, suggesting a systematic method for the preparation and administration of poisons. Analysis of residues within these artifacts has identified various substances, including hemlock, belladonna, and arsenic, all known for their lethal properties. These findings indicate that the use of poisons was not merely an act of desperation, but rather a calculated strategy among the elite. Inscriptions on tombstones and in literature provide context, hinting at the social dynamics that facilitated these clandestine practices. They reflect a culture in which whispers of treachery and the specter of assassination loomed large, underscoring the precarious nature of power. The burial sites of political figures often reveal traces of toxic substances, suggesting that poisoning was a favored method of eliminating rivals. The presence of toxins in personal effects frequently indicates a level of sophistication among those who wielded such deadly knowledge. These remnants serve as chilling reminders of the lengths to which individuals would go to secure their positions, creating an atmosphere steeped in intrigue and suspicion. The evolution of assassination techniques illuminates a dark trajectory, one that extends from ancient practices to contemporary methods. During the time of Locusta in Gaul, poison emerged as a favored instrument of choice. Prized for its insidious nature, it allowed for discreet maneuvers, enabling individuals to eliminate rivals without overt confrontation. This method of assassination relied heavily on the knowledge of toxic substances and their effects on the human body, marking a shift toward a more calculated approach in the art of killing. This strategy flourished and diversified through the ages, adapting to the changing political landscapes and technological advancements. The use of weapons evolved, from poison-laced daggers to firearms, which introduced a new era of distance in lethal engagements. Each progression reflected societal shifts and an increasing sophistication in the execution of covert operations. Modern times witness the application of biochemical agents and advanced technology, including drones and cyber tactics, indicating a shift towards precision and anonymity. The cold efficiency of contemporary methods stands in stark contrast to the more personal, visceral nature of ancient techniques. Yet, the underlying principles remain unchanged. The pursuit of power often drives individuals to employ lethal means, reflecting an enduring tendency within human nature. In this way, the legacy of Locusta endures, echoed in the shadows of history. The rhetoric surrounding poison in Roman political discourse reveals a complex interplay between power and perception. This substance, often considered a tool of the clandestine, shaped the narratives of authority and betrayal within the empire. It served not only as a means of assassination, but also as a metaphor for the political machinations prevalent in this region. The whispers of toxicity permeated conversations, influencing public opinion and the reputations of leaders. In speeches and writings, References to poisons often denoted treachery, suggesting that political rivals could strike from the shadows. This association extended beyond mere physical harm, symbolizing the corrosive effects of deceit on civic life. As figures like Locusta demonstrated, the manipulation of poison transcended the act of killing. It was a form of artistry, a calculated method to achieve desired outcomes without the overt display of violence. Roman historians documented various incidents where the mere mention of poison could sway the populace, creating an atmosphere of suspicion and fear. The public's fascination with the potency of these toxins reflected deeper societal anxieties about loyalty and the fragility of power. In this context, poison became more than a substance. It evolved into a language of its own, articulating the darker aspects of governance and the eternal struggle for supremacy in an empire fraught with intrigue. The influence of gender within the realm of toxicology during this era is striking. Men often held positions of authority, serving as the primary purveyors and practitioners of lethal substances. Their expertise was frequently derived from formal education, apprenticeship, or military training, granting them a certain prestige. Meanwhile, women, although often relegated to the background, played crucial roles in the administration of poisons. The knowledge they possessed was often rooted in the domestic sphere, where they utilized plants and concoctions for various purposes, including healings. In clandestine circles, some women became revered figures, known for their mastery of toxicology. They often acted as intermediaries, providing poisons to those in power. This duality highlights a complex interplay of influence. While men dominated the public arena, women shaped the covert practices that fueled political machinations. The texts from this period occasionally reference women as skilled poisoners, suggesting that their expertise was both feared and respected. This tension underscores the societal perceptions of gender roles, where femininity could be simultaneously associated with nurturing and lethal capabilities. Such dynamics reveal a society steeped in contradictions, where the very fabric of power was intricately woven with the knowledge of toxins, transcending gender boundaries and revealing the pervasive nature of toxicology in shaping political landscapes. Roman poisons exhibit a striking array of chemical compositions, many derived from natural sources, such as plants and minerals. This region of historical study reveals a fascination with the lethal properties of substances like hemlock and belladonna, showcasing early understandings of botanical toxicity. These compounds were meticulously documented, providing a foundation for the evolving science of toxicology. Modern toxins, while sharing some similarities in origin, are often synthesized or modified for specific applications. The advancement of chemistry has enabled the creation of substances that can be precisely tailored for various uses, from pharmaceuticals to agricultural products. This nuanced approach contrasts with ancient methodologies, which relied heavily on empirical observations passed through generations. The effectiveness of Roman toxins often stemmed from their ability to exploit biological vulnerabilities, a principle that remains relevant in contemporary toxicology. Current research emphasizes the mechanisms of action at the molecular level, revealing how these ancient substances might have influenced physiological responses. Cultural perceptions of toxins have also evolved. In ancient Rome, poisons were both feared and revered, seen as tools of political maneuverings. Today's society grapples with complex ethical considerations surrounding chemical usage, balancing the benefits against potential harms. This evolution reflects a broader understanding of the intricate relationships between humanity and the substances that can sustain or destroy life. The role of Locusta in Roman literature and drama underscores the fascination with toxins and their moral implications. This character often served as a representation of cunning and treachery, embodying the darker aspects of human nature. In various narratives, it is portrayed as a skilled poisoner, a figure that elicits intrigue and fear. These stories illustrate the duality of toxins. They can be tools for both survival and destruction, reflecting the complex ethics surrounding their use. Literary depictions frequently highlight the tension between power and morality. Poison, as wielded by figures like Locusta, becomes a means to achieve political ends, often at great human cost. This dynamic resonates deeply within the societal context of Imperial Rome, where authority and betrayal created a fertile ground for such narratives. Dramatic representations of Locusta often emphasize the isolation and alienation that accompany her role. They delve into the psychological impact of embodying such lethal knowledge, revealing the burdens carried by those who navigate the treacherous waters of power dynamics. The focus on this character in Roman drama provides insight into broader themes of fear, ambition, and the consequences of human actions. And this exploration remains relevant, as it mirrors ongoing discussions about the ethics of scientific advancement and the potential ramifications of human ingenuity. The representation of poison in Roman art transcends mere illustration. It serves as a profound commentary on power, vulnerability, and the intricate dynamics of life and death. Various pieces reveal the dual nature of toxins, embodying both beauty and danger. Artistic motifs often depict serpents, their coiled forms symbolizing treachery and deceit, while simultaneously evoking fascination. This region of artistic expression captures the societal concerns of the time, reflecting anxieties surrounding political intrigue and betrayal. The imagery often intertwines with the narratives of famous historical figures, illustrating their dramatic downfalls through the metaphor of poison. It becomes a vessel for conveying moral lessons about the consequences of ambition and envy. Vases and frescoes frequently showcase plants associated with toxicity, such as hemlock and belladonna, hinting at the Romans' complex relationship with nature. These depictions serve not only as warnings but also as acknowledgments of the potency of natural substances that could be harnessed for both healing and harm. It is within the nuances of these representations that deeper meanings emerge. The allure of poison is mirrored in the intricate craftsmanship of the art itself, encapsulating a society that was both captivated by and wary of the power it wielded. This visual language continues to echo in discussions about morality and ethics in the contemporary scientific landscape. The Roman Senate often operated in a delicate balance of power, where influence was frequently wielded through the strategic use of toxins. This political arena witnessed the employment of poisons not merely as tools of assassination, but as instruments of persuasion, shaping alliances and rivalry. Subtlety became paramount, as the potency of these agents could sway the fates of individuals and even entire factions. Legislation surrounding toxins reflected a growing awareness of their implications. Proposals for regulation emerged, yet the inherent nature of poison as both weapon and remedy complicated these discussions. The visibility of such debates illustrated the Senate's struggle to reconcile moral considerations with practical governance. Tensions arose when certain members sought to exploit these substances for personal gain, further entrenching the notion that power could be acquired through clandestine means. In this environment, the use of poison extended beyond physical harm. It permeated the rhetoric of political discourse, where accusations of poisoning often served to tarnish reputations. The discourse itself became laced with the implications of treachery, as leaders navigated the precarious landscape of loyalty and betrayal. The shadows of suspicion lingered in the halls of power, creating a culture where the threat of toxins loomed large. This legacy of calculated manipulation continues to resonate through the ages, reflecting the complexities of trust and authority within human governance. The influence of Eastern toxicology on Roman practices marked a significant intersection of knowledge and power. Ancient texts from the East, rich with insights into the properties of various substances, informed Roman understanding of poisons and their applications. This exchange facilitated a deeper investigation into the natural world, prompting scholars to explore the medicinal and lethal potentials of numerous plants, minerals, and animal products. In this region, the collection of botanical specimens and their corresponding effects became a cornerstone of developing pharmacological practices. The writings of early Eastern physicians, often translated into Latin, introduced Romans to an array of toxic compounds including aconite and hemlock, each possessing capabilities for both healing and harm. Surveillance of these practices revealed their strategic use in political spheres, with substances chosen carefully to achieve desired outcomes. Interactions between Roman and Eastern scholars led to the establishment of a more systematic approach to toxicology, wherein the effects of compounds were documented and categorized. This meticulous classification allowed for the refinement of poisons, enhancing their efficacy and stealth. As knowledge spread, it permeated various aspects of Roman life, from medicine to warfare, reinforcing the notion that mastery over toxic agents could wield substantial influence over both adversaries and allies alike. The intricate relationship between toxicology and ethics in ancient Rome invites contemplation. This region, marked by the pursuit of power and knowledge, often faced moral dilemmas surrounding the application of poisons. It raises questions regarding the motivations behind their use. While some sought to heal, others aimed to control or eliminate through subversion. The duality of healing and harm reflects the complexities of human intent. Historical analysis of poisoning reveals a spectrum of values. Many individuals, while harnessing toxins for personal gain, justified their actions under the guise of protection or necessity. This perspective complicates the understanding of culpability. It is essential to consider societal norms of the time that shaped these decisions, as well as the potential ramifications on broader communities. Researching historical practices of poisoning provides insights into the ethical frameworks of those societies. It underscores the necessity of context in evaluating actions that, while distasteful by contemporary standards, were not uncommon in that era. The records left behind offer glimpses into the struggles of navigating morality amidst the harsh realities of survival and power dynamics. This examination fosters a deeper appreciation for the multifaceted nature of ancient practices. Engaging with these ethical considerations enhances comprehension of the past, allowing for a nuanced discourse on the implications of toxicology in shaping civilizations. Secrecy has long shrouded the profession of poisoning, creating a veil that obscures the intricate dynamics of its practice. Within ancient Rome, this clandestine art was not merely a tool of assassination, but a means of asserting power and control. Those skilled in the use of toxins operated in the shadows, their knowledge passed down through whispers and hidden texts, often safeguarded by oaths of silence. The potency of poisons, ranging from the subtle effects of hemlock to the lethal consequences of aconite, demanded both precision and discretion. This region was rife with intrigue, where the line between ally and adversary blurred. Trust was a commodity, and betrayal was a constant threat. As a result, practitioners cultivated an atmosphere of secrecy, often working alone or in tightly knit circles to protect their expertise from rival factions and authorities. In the hands of the elite, these toxic agents became instruments of political maneuvering, capable of altering allegiances and dismantling threats. The art of poisoning required not only knowledge of chemical compounds, but also a profound understanding of human psychology. The ability to conceal intentions while wielding such power amplified its effectiveness. The legacy of these secretive practices continues to influence contemporary discussions surrounding ethics and the responsibilities inherent in wielding scientific knowledge. The intricate process of crafting a poison involves several meticulous steps, each requiring a deep understanding of both botanical and chemical properties. Initial identification of suitable plant species forms the foundation, where experts analyze flora known for their toxic attributes. This region, abundant in biodiversity, offers a variety of candidates, ranging from common herbs to rare plants. Once a candidate is selected, careful extraction techniques come into play. This often involves isolating specific alkaloids or compounds responsible for toxicity. Various methods, including maceration or distillation, may be employed to obtain these potent substances while minimizing degradation. The isolation process demands precision, as the balance between efficacy and safety can be delicate. Following extraction, the next phase entails rigorous testing of the compound. Laboratory analysis allows for exploration of the substance's potency and stability under various conditions. This stage often involves the use of biological assays to evaluate the effects on living cells or organisms, providing crucial insights into potential applications. Documentation of the findings contributes to a growing knowledge base. Each successful formulation not only enhances the understanding of toxicology, but also serves as a reminder of the ethical considerations tied to such knowledge. The practiced artisans of this craft navigate a complex interplay between discovery and responsibility, shaping outcomes that extend beyond the laboratory. Cultural attitudes toward poisoners in Roman society reveal a nuanced perspective on morality and utility. Poisons, often viewed with suspicion, were simultaneously recognized for their utility in political maneuvering and medical practices. The presence of skilled poisoners, known as venefici, elicited a blend of admiration and fear. Their expertise was sought after in clandestine circles, where whispers of treachery mingled with the allure of power. In the upper echelons of society, poisoners held a dual status, serving both as necessary allies and potential threats. The art of poisoning was a reflection of the broader Roman embrace of pragmatism over morality, where the means often justified the ends. This complex relationship fostered a culture that oscillated between reverence for the knowledge and disdain for the consequences. Legal repercussions for poisoning varied significantly, often dictated by the social standing of both victim and perpetrator. Executions sometimes served as public spectacles, reinforcing societal norms while simultaneously perpetuating the mystique surrounding the craft. It was not uncommon for victims of poisoning to be portrayed as tragic figures, their deaths marking a lament for the fragility of trust in a society rife with intrigue. In this intricate web, knowledge of toxins became a double-edged sword, embodying both the potential for healing and the capacity for destruction, reflecting the vulnerabilities and complexities of Roman life. The legacy of Locusta of Gaul resonates beyond the confines of ancient Rome, influencing contemporary practices surrounding toxins. Her expertise not only shaped the dark arts of poisoning, but also initiated a profound curiosity regarding the biochemical properties of various substances. Scientific inquiry into these agents has evolved significantly, leading to advancements in toxicology that inform modern medicine and forensic science. In laboratories today, the systematic study of poisons reveals intricate pathways through which these compounds interact with biological systems. This region of research has yielded insights into both the therapeutic applications of certain toxins and their potential dangers. The duality that characterized Locusta's work is mirrored in current methodologies, where the line between poison and medicine often blurs. Textual records of her techniques serve as historical references for understanding interactions between compounds and their effects on human physiology. The meticulous documentation of symptoms and reactions observed in poisoned individuals initiated a tradition of careful observation that remains foundational in toxicological studies. The acknowledgement of the ethical implications surrounding poison use has also transformed, leading to stringent regulations. This evolution reflects a societal commitment to understanding the ramifications of toxin application in an ever-complex world, where the legacies of ancient practitioners continue to inform modern scientific discourse. The influence of religion and superstition permeated Roman toxicology, shaping both the beliefs and practices surrounding the use of poisons. Sacred rituals were often intertwined with the preparation and application of toxic substances, as practitioners sought divine guidance in their craft. Temples dedicated to deities such as Venus and Apollo served as centers for seeking knowledge about the lethal properties found in nature. These divine connections lent an air of legitimacy to the work of toxicologists, bridging the gap between empirical observations and spiritual beliefs. In this environment, the perception of toxins transcended mere chemical interactions. They were viewed as instruments of fate, wielded by both mortals and gods. The fear of divine retribution often accompanied the use of poisons, leading to a cautious approach in their application. Many practitioners would invoke prayers or perform sacrifices before embarking on their experiments, reflecting the belief that success hinged on pleasing the gods. Additionally, folklore played a significant role in shaping attitudes towards toxicology. Stories of mythical figures who wielded poisons with deadly precision permeated Roman culture, reinforcing the notion that mastery over toxins was a gift bestowed by the divine. This reverence for toxins, entwined with fear and respect, created a complex landscape where the realms of science and superstition coexisted, guiding practitioners in their quest for knowledge. Climate plays a crucial role in the distribution of toxic plants across regions inhabited by the Locusta of Gaul. Variations in temperature, precipitation, and seasonal cycles dictate not only the growth patterns of flora, but also their chemical compositions. Elevated temperatures can enhance the production of secondary metabolites, which often include potent toxins, providing a competitive advantage in harsh environments. These adaptations enable certain species to thrive in specific climatic conditions, leading to localized concentrations of poisonous plants. The interplay between climate and soil composition further influences the presence of toxins. Nutrient availability and soil pH can alter the biosynthetic pathways of toxic compounds, resulting in distinct varieties within the same species. This phenomenon is evident in various regions where certain plants exhibit heightened toxicity, closely linked to the environmental conditions they endure. Moreover, climatic shifts can disrupt established ecosystems, prompting migrations of both flora and fauna. As temperatures rise or rainfall patterns shift, the habitats of toxic plants may expand or contract, impacting their availability to those who harness their properties. This dynamic relationship between climate and plant distribution underscores the delicate balance within ecological systems. Understanding these interactions enriches the knowledge of the Locusta, revealing how ancient practitioners navigated a world shaped by both natural and cultural forces. A mystique of poisoners in ancient Rome extends beyond mere acts of malice. This region, where knowledge of toxins flourished, showcases the intricate relationship between pharmacology and societal perception. Poisoners often operated within a shadowy realm, balancing their roles as healers and harbingers of death. The duality of their craft instilled both fear and fascination among the populace, leading to a complex legacy. Their methods were steeped in secrecy, employing a wide array of substances derived from plants, minerals, and animal products. Each toxin possessed unique properties, enabling practitioners to tailor their concoctions to specific effects. It is in this delicate alchemy that the finesse of these ancient artisans is revealed. They understood not only the chemical makeup of their materials, but also the psychological impact of their application. The social implications of poisoning cannot be overlooked. The art of assassination, often associated with political intrigue, was intricately linked to the status of the poisoner. Crafting the perfect dose required not only scientific acumen, but also an understanding of human behavior and consequence. This knowledge, passed down through generations, contributed to the enduring legacy of such figures in Roman history. Records indicate that elite circles frequently sought the expertise of these individuals, further complicating the moral landscape surrounding their practice. Trust and betrayal often intertwined, shaping the dynamics of power within the empire. Historical accounts reveal the often grim realities faced by those who succumbed to the effects of toxins in this era. Recovery from poisoning was a precarious endeavor, with methods varying widely across the empire. Ancient texts describe the use of herbal remedies, the efficacy of which remains uncertain. Various plants, such as the flowering hemlock and the deadly nightshade, were employed in attempts to counteract the nefarious effects of poison. Physicians of the time, bound by the knowledge available to them, relied heavily on trial and error. They documented their successes and failures in painstaking detail, hoping to refine their practices through observation. Some accounts highlight the use of emetics to induce vomiting, while others detail the administration of antidotes derived from animal parts, a practice steeped in superstition as much as in emerging medical science. The psychological toll on victims was profound. Many faced not only the physical repercussions of their poisoning, but also the social stigma that accompanied such a fate. Some accounts suggest that survivors often lived in fear of further attacks, their perceptions of safety forever altered. Within these narratives lies a complex interplay of medical knowledge, human resilience, and the darker aspects of ambition. As these individuals navigated their recovery, they became part of a broader historical tapestry, reflective of the empire's intricate social fabric. The knowledge of toxins within ancient Rome was meticulously communicated among various societal tiers. Scholars and physicians documented their findings in texts, sharing insights on the effects and applications of toxic substances. This literature often served multiple purposes, from medical treatments to agricultural practices, reflecting a sophisticated understanding of the natural world. In urban centers, marketplaces became venues for the exchange of information, where merchants and healers discussed the virtues and dangers of various plants and compounds. It was within these bustling environments that common citizens first encountered the lexicon of toxicity, learning to identify both beneficial and harmful agents in their surroundings. The role of rhetoric in disseminating toxicity knowledge cannot be understated. Orators conveyed the significance of certain poisons, elevating the discussions to matters of public health and safety. This emphasis on verbal communication allowed for a broader understanding of toxicological principles, which permeated various aspects of Roman life. Educational institutions played a critical role in formalizing this knowledge. Students were taught not only the practical applications of toxins, but also the philosophical implications of their use. This intellectual framework laid the groundwork for future generations, emphasizing the delicate balance between the benefits and risks inherent in the manipulation of nature's most potent substances. The ramifications of these teachings would echo throughout history, influencing subsequent civilizations. Vothine and the Locusta reached far beyond the confines of her laboratory. Her expertise in toxicology was strategically employed by the ruling elite, leading to the adoption of new imperial policies that prioritized the use of poisons for both political maneuvering and warfare. This region, steeped in intrigue, became a crucible for the development of toxic substances that could be discreetly administered, allowing for covert eliminations of rivals. The precision with which these compounds were crafted underscored the necessity of skilled practitioners, and Locusta's status elevated her to a position of considerable power. Imperial leaders recognized the potential of her knowledge, integrating toxicological methods into military strategy. The ability to incapacitate or eliminate opponents without direct confrontation altered the landscape of power dynamics. As these practices gained acceptance, they influenced the ethical considerations of governance, raising questions about morality and the use of poison as a tool of the state. This reliance on toxins generated an environment where suspicion flourished, leading to increased paranoia among the elite. Trust eroded as the fear of betrayal loomed large. Individuals began to protect themselves through countermeasures, creating a feedback loop of toxicity within the political sphere. The legacy of Locusta would imprint itself on the very fabric of imperial Rome, leaving a mark that transcended her own lifetime. The realm of Roman medicine existed within a complex interplay between healing and harm. Physicians wielded knowledge of herbs and minerals, often sourced from distant lands, to create remedies that could alleviate suffering. This region, rich in biodiversity, offered a plethora of natural substances, many of which were potent enough to treat ailments or induce them. The line between remedy and poison frequently blurred, as the same ingredients could serve dual purposes. In the hands of skilled practitioners, certain plants transformed into cures, alleviating fevers and fortifying the body against illness. Yet, their misuse could lead to dire consequences. The intricate balance of dosages was critical. Too much of a seemingly benign herb could result in fatality. This knowledge was both revered and feared, as the power to heal also encompassed the ability to harm. Philosophical schools debated the ethical implications of such practices. The Hippocratic Oath, upheld by many, emphasized the responsibility of the healer, underscoring the moral weight of their choices. Amidst this landscape, the figure of Locusta emerged, representing a darker facet of this duality. Her expertise in toxins exemplified the potential for medicine to be weaponized, wielded as a tool for political maneuvering in a society where power often dictated life and death. The duality of healing and harm resonated deeply within the annals of Roman history. The evolution of poisonous fauna in Roman territories contributed significantly to the understanding of toxins. Various regions presented distinct ecological niches, fostering diverse species capable of producing potent chemical defenses against predators. This region, rich in biodiversity, became an essential laboratory for early naturalists and toxicologists. The interplay between local flora and fauna resulted in unique adaptations, with some creatures developing venoms that could incapacitate even larger animals. Research into these toxins led to a greater awareness of their applications. The venom of certain snakes and the secretions of various amphibians became subjects of study, revealing their potential for medicinal use as well as their lethal properties. This knowledge was not merely academic. It served practical purposes in both warfare and medicine. The utilization of these substances in the preparation of poisons and antidotes highlighted the intricate balance between life and death in ancient Roman society. The study of these organisms extended beyond mere survival. The fascination with deadly creatures often led to the documentation of their behaviors and habitats, contributing to a body of knowledge that shaped Roman thought. Through meticulous observation, scholars began to categorize and understand the complexities of these toxic relationships, shaping future inquiries into the realm of environmental science. This understanding laid the groundwork for the sophisticated applications of toxins that would emerge in subsequent centuries. The implications of poison use in diplomatic relations became increasingly significant as knowledge of toxins spread. It enabled subtle forms of manipulation and strategy, allowing rulers to eliminate rivals with minimal risk. The intricacies of this practice extended beyond mere assassination. Poisons were employed to influence treaties and alliances, shaping the landscape of power dynamics. In this context, the role of trusted advisors and skilled practitioners became paramount. They were often summoned to provide counsel on the appropriate use of these substances. This reliance on expertise created a unique class within society, one that balanced the art of subterfuge with the ethics of their craft. The potency of a well-administered toxin could sway decisions and alter the course of history. These actions were not devoid of consequence. The fear of poisoning fostered an atmosphere of suspicion and distrust among leaders, complicating interactions. Diplomatic dinners, once meant for fostering camaraderie, transformed into tense engagements filled with the specter of potential treachery. The legacy of these practices is evident in the historical accounts that reveal the lengths to which individuals would go to secure their interests. The shadow of poison lingered in the air, a reminder that power often comes at a price, with implications that reached far beyond the immediate act of administration. Portrayals of Locusta in post-Roman history reveal a complex figure, serving as both a subject of fascination and a symbol of treachery. Historical texts recount her life with a mixture of awe and condemnation, framing her as an enigmatic practitioner of toxicology. This region's accounts depict her as a masterful artisan of poisons, skillfully manipulating substances to achieve desired outcomes. The stories often emphasize the eerie precision with which she crafted lethal concoctions, regarded by some as a dark art. In literature, she emerges as a figure shrouded in myth, with tales embellishing her skills and intertwining them with broader themes of power and deception. These narratives often serve as cautionary tales, warning of the moral decay associated with the pursuit of authority through illicit means. This historical lens reflects societal anxieties regarding women in positions of influence, as Locusta becomes emblematic of the dangers lurking within ambition. Her legacy persists through the ages, exemplified in artistic representations that capture the duality of her existence. While some depict her as a villain, others highlight her ingenuity and survival in a male-dominated world. The fading company of her contemporaries echoes the complexities of her choices, illustrating the fine line between victim and villain in the annals of history. The influence of ancient practices on modern methodologies reveals itself in unexpected ways. Roman toxicology, with its meticulous observations and categorizations of natural substances, laid foundational principles that persist in contemporary forensics. The systematic analysis of poisons utilized by the Romans informs current techniques in identifying toxic agents in biological samples. This region of study emphasizes the importance of understanding the historical context of substances, which can significantly affect their interpretation in forensic investigations. The meticulous writings of figures such as Locusta provide insight into the pharmacological properties of various compounds, illustrating early iterations of what would evolve into modern toxicology. Techniques employed during the Roman Empire, such as extraction and preparation methods, are echoed in today's laboratory practices. Investigators rely on these ancient principles when analyzing crime scenes, where the presence of toxins may suggest motives or methods. The examination of residues and the understanding of how substances interact with the human body draw directly from historical knowledge, allowing forensic scientists to construct narratives around the circumstances of death or incapacitation. This intersection of history and science not only enriches the field of forensic toxicology, but also highlights the enduring relevance of ancient practices in unraveling the complexities of human behavior and mortality in contemporary settings. The psychological ramifications of poisoning throughout history reveal a profound interplay between fear and power. In ancient Rome, the threat of toxic substances was not merely a physical danger but a psychological weapon, wielded to instill dread and uncertainty among both enemies and allies. This region, where politics and personal vendettas often converged, saw the emergence of poisons as tools of manipulation. Individuals were not only concerned about physical harm, the mere suspicion of being poisoned could sow discord and paranoia within the ranks of society. The pervasive anxiety surrounding toxins influenced behaviors and relationships. Trust eroded as courtiers and leaders became increasingly wary of their surroundings. The constant vigilance against invisible threats fostered a culture of intrigue and suspicion, where alliances could dissolve under the weight of whispered accusations. In the hearts and minds of the populace, the specter of poisoning transformed ordinary interactions into precarious exchanges marked by fear. Literary accounts from this era often reflect these psychological burdens. Characters in texts grappled with the duality of seeking power while living under the constant threat of betrayal through poison. This pervasive unease contributed to a societal framework where the act of poisoning transcended mere death. It became an embodiment of the struggle for control and dominance. The echo of these historical dynamics continues to resonate, illuminating the complexities of human psychology when faced with the specter of mortality through toxic means. The perception of poisoners shaped their existence within society, influencing both their actions and their fate. This profession thrived on the delicate balance between fear and fascination, where the public's understanding of toxins often swayed between admiration and revulsion. To master the art of poisoning demanded not only knowledge of substances, but also a keen awareness of how they would be perceived. In regions where these individuals operated, whispered legends and rumors often circulated, enhancing their mystique. The skilled poisoner became a figure both revered and vilified, capable of wielding life and death with measured precision. This duality ensured that they occupied a unique niche within the social hierarchy. The ethical implications of their craft were frequently dismissed in light of the perceived control they held over fate. Cunning manipulation of public sentiment allowed these practitioners to navigate their roles effectively. By cultivating a reputation for discretion and expertise, many could secure their livelihoods while evading the harshest judgments. The relationship between these figures and the populace was intricate, marked by a reliance on societal fears and curiosity. Their legacy, intertwined with historical events, remained a testament to humanity's complex relationship with mortality, power, and the substances that can alter life's trajectory. The study of this interplay continues to intrigue scholars today. The intersection of science fiction and historical poisoning reveals a rich landscape of imagination and consequence. It draws parallels between ancient practices and contemporary narratives, where the manipulation of toxins often serves as a plot device. These stories reflect the enduring fascination with the potential of poisons, both as weapons and tools for intrigue. In various accounts, toxins are depicted not merely as substances, but as catalysts for transformation and conflict. This region of storytelling often emphasizes the moral ambiguities surrounding their use, echoing the complexities of historical figures who wielded such knowledge. The allure of the unknown, coupled with the historical realities of poisoning, creates a fertile ground for speculation and invention. These narratives frequently explore the boundaries of human ethics, probing the lengths to which individuals might go to achieve power or revenge. The results of these fictional scenarios often mirror the real-world consequences of poisoning in the Roman Empire, where individuals faced dire fates due to the machinations of others. Through various mediums from literature to film, this theme continues to evolve, reflecting societal fears and aspirations. It serves as a reminder of humanity's ongoing struggle with moral dilemmas inherent in the wielding of power over life and death. Such explorations are not merely fictional, they resonate with historical truths that shape our understanding of human behavior. The enduring fascination with Locusta of Gaul stems from her embodiment of the complexities associated with power and betrayal in Imperial Rome. This figure represents the intricate relationship between toxin and human agency, illuminating the darker aspects of ambition. Her expertise in the art of poisoning reveals not just a skill set, but a broader commentary on societal values and the lengths to which individuals will go to exert control. These toxins, meticulously crafted from naturally occurring substances, serve as a reminder of the fragility of life in a world rife with competition and subterfuge. The historical records showcase how chemical compounds could tip the scales between life and death, altering the course of history with calculated precision. The repercussions of such knowledge extend beyond mere acts of murder. They reflect the moral dilemmas faced by those at the apex of power. This region of study continues to engage scholars and historians alike, as the implications of toxicology intertwine with ethics and cultural practices. It signifies a broad exploration of human nature and the boundaries of morality in pursuit of ambition. The tale of Locusta and her lethal expertise remains a poignant reminder of the duality inherent in human endeavor, where brilliance can coexist with darkness, forever shaping the narrative of an empire.